Welcome back to the AB Scale Project. I'm Krieger, and this is Alpha Bravo, and today we got the Reactivate Bumblebee, and he looks pretty neat. He does come with a backdrop that you can't see because I've got the light on, so let's turn this light off just a sec so you can see that salve animation there from a game that's not happening. So, yeah, so that's pretty neat. We'll go ahead and get rid of that. Turn the light back on and get into this figure. Now, I mainly picked him up because I found him on sale, and when he originally came out with a 2-pack with Starscream, I really didn't want the Starscream. But when he came out individually and found him on sale, I was like, okay, I'll get him. And, I mean, you can tell by the scale here next to Alpha Bravo, he's not going to win for a Bumblebee. So I thought I'd turn him into, like, one of the other Carbots that from the last light that I don't have. So let's look at the figure as it is. Head on a ball joint. Do whatever you want with the head. You can look straight up. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Arm kind of runs into some kibble issues there. You do have a ball joint here, so a little bit cheaper in the joints here. Nothing on the wrist, nothing at the waist. The thighs do everything, including coming apart. Good knee bend. And a decent ankle tilt. Like I said, no waist there, because that's all part of the transformation there. This does kind of remind me of the Jurassic Park, simplicity. But yeah, but he doesn't have any hollowness involved, so it's not too bad. Except the back of the arms there, but it's not that egregious, so it's not horrible. Some comparison. Here is the Studio Series, our current winner for the G1 Bumblebee. And you kind of see the outside scale. We'll bring in Kingdom Prime, just so you can see how tall he is. He's about where Ironhide is, so he's a tall deluxe. So, pretty big guy. Not our usual Bumblebee scale. But yeah, that's about it for the robot mode. Let's check out the vehicle mode. And here we have the Bumblebee in his Doom Buggy mode. Looks pretty cool. Rolls pretty well. Pretty loud with all that extra tread action on there. But yeah, let's go ahead and turn around here so you can see it. Pretty neat. A little bit of asymmetry on design, see, on the doors and stuff. So, pretty neat. Got this big exhaust back there and the big V-twin engine back there. So yeah, pretty neat. And pretty obvious there's a robot underneath there. And there's a lot of stuff in this transformation that I do not like. I'll say that. A lot of pulling stuff past stuff. Just was not fun. But yeah, not too bad. That's about it. Rolls good. And that's about it. The weapons store right there. Right on his elbows and his kneecaps. So yeah. Bring in the current winner. See them together. Much larger, of course, because it's a much larger bot. But yeah, that's all there is to say about it. So let's go ahead and give our final thoughts. So is this our new IDW G1 Bumblebee? No, like I said earlier, it's not going to win anything because the scale is way too big. But I'm sure he'll make another good Joyride or something along that line. So he is nifty. He does look pretty neat. A little cheap in places, but otherwise he looks pretty neat. But definitely not something that you'll put on with the Bumblebee to fit with anything else except for the other Reactivate figures. So, alright, let's go on to the next one. Next up, we got the animated Bumblebee. And he actually looks pretty good. You see he's got his little rocket packs with his stingers doubling as blast effects. So that's pretty neat. Not a lot of hollowness. He looks pretty good. Not too bad. He compacts pretty well. I mean, you take those rockets off. He just has a small little backpack, but that's not too bad at all. So I'd put it out for a side. Alright, does have a ball joint for a head. A little bit up and down. A lot of stuff on a transformation joint, so we can just kind of, bop back there. Yeah. Anyway. Arms has kind of a limit just because that's just as far as they go. Because of the transformation joint. Just has rock, nothing in the wrist because there's something I want to show you here in a second. Does have a waist. Legs are good. Does everything legs are supposed to do. Ankle tilt, I mean, so slight. Just ever so slight. So no extreme ankle tilt for this episode. So anyway, so the cool things that it does, besides knocking Alpha Bravo over several times, is we take off his stingers. We open this up, flip those around. All right, open that up, flip around. Bring this up. Rotate those in. And we have a peg, hole. Stick those in. Once you get them in there go. Do that again. It's a weird angle because I'll show you it's something really cool. Okay, so we look at them. Yeah, they look like a weird angle, but that's because once you get his arms manipulated around to where they'll touch each other, you can form the full stinger. So that's pretty cool. So you can have him do his full stinger blast. And, you know, it doesn't flip out like the original did. We'll say that. So the original has it over that one in that way, but that's pretty neat. And plus the fact that you can repurpose these as the blast effects on your rocket modules for his boost mode. And these are 3mm pegs that go in here. So anything 3mm pegs, you can probably stick them in. Get his hands back out here. Whoop. Flip that out. Come on. There we go. Get him back to happy. All right. There we go. We got to do some size comparison. So bring Alpha Bravo back up here. For size comparisons, bring in the Studio Series, and they're the same size. So that looks good. So if you feel like having an animated Bumblebee instead of a Studio Series, it'll work for scale. And since my Prime is still tied up in his power armor, we'll bring out the Motormaster so you can see how he looks with the Prime mold. I think that looks pretty good. And I felt obligated to find this because he'd been off the shelves for a while, and I found him on sale. Went ahead and picked him up because when the new Ratchet came out, or when the new Ratchet went on pre-order, is like, that looks pretty cool. I should probably pick up the whole team. So I picked this up. So that's how he looks next to the animated Prime mold. And yeah, and for fun, there he is with the Earthrise Prime. So that all works out pretty well. All right, let's look at the vehicle mode. And here we have Animated Bee in his car mode. Looks pretty well. Rolls really good. Go ahead and spin him around for you. It's pretty neat. Has his police siren up there, so it looks really good. His rockets with the stingers doubling as the blast effects. So that's pretty cool. We'll take them off so you can take a look and see that it looks like the animation hatchback with the little spoiler back there. So that's really cool. I think it looks really great. The only complaint I have is that when you look through the transparency there, you just see all the mechanical stuff, the pins and stuff that kind of detract a little bit. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. So comparison to the Studio Series, looks pretty good. They go pretty good together. So pretty neat. Bring in Motormaster, see those together. I think that works with the Prime mold. So yeah, not too bad at all. And I guess technically you could tack these down here if you wanted to, or keep them up here. You know, it's your choice. Do what you want. But anyway, let's do our final decision. So, is this our new IDW G1 Bumblebee? No, the Studio Series is still going to be our IDW G1, or at least the G1 styled Bumblebee. So, For animated purposes, I didn't get my animated bee out for this video, but I think for articulation and for availability, it'll probably be your new animated Bumblebee. If you liked your old animated Bumblebee, it's fine. I mean, I'm sure it's still great. It's been a long time since I took mine out. I don't remember having any complaints about it. But just for availability, if you don't have the old one, this one will be fine, and he'll fit together with all the other modern versions of the animated Autobots that we've gotten. So, let's go ahead and wrap this up. And that's all for this Bumblebees-centric episode. So, thanks for joining us today on the AB Scout Project. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell, and I'll see y'all later.